Hello and welcome to episode 21 of How to Play Star Wars Galaxies. Here we are going to talk about crafting again, but it's going to be more about factories and how to use them, especially what they are. I've mentioned them in previous tutorials, and if you do any kind of crafting and you find that you get really frustrated because you're having to make things all the time, this can be really beneficial to you. However, if you're trying to level up, this doesn't help you at all. Uh, Crafting with factories doesn't give you any experience. The only thing it actually benefits you on is if you're trying to just make a lot of items, or if you need to make a lot of components to go into items to craft for experience, then that might could help you, but it's not going to help you as far as making the items just to level. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about this. So the only thing I really use it for really is make components, or if I just don't have the time to make the items and I want to make a stockpile to load up on my vendors, especially if it's something really good and you gotta do a lot of experimenting on. Be very time consuming, so it really helps. So what are factories? Factories basically allow you to do what I just said, but they're an actual building you put on the surface of whatever planet, just like you do these houses here. So we're going to look at a factory schematic, and architects can make these. You can usually buy these from on the bazaar or vendors. Here I have some equipment factories. I'm going to double click on one, and just like a house, you have to place it. So I'm going to place it wherever it's green, and you'll see right there it showed up. So I'm going to go to it. Now let's open up my droid that has my crafting station in it, because you need to have a crafting station or capability to make a schematic. And I'm not going to make anything more than maybe a couple items because I don't want it to take very long. So we're going to go ahead and just open up this weapon, and I'm going to, let's make something different. Let's make a chance cube. Yep, good mixture of stuff. So when I say next, I'm going to my resources. Now I'm just going to pick some random things, just anything that will work in here. I don't really care the quality. Doesn't really matter if I show you high quality or low quality. All that's going to change is how long the factory takes. So essentially I want to use low quality, so it may take less time. So we're going to assemble it. Say OK. Say next. Now, if you're going to experiment, go ahead and experiment now, because this is when you have to do it. But I'm going to skip this stage, just show you just right into the next part. So imagine if I was experimenting and did my experimenting the way I just showed you in the previous tutorial, and here you're going to see me go into the manufacturing schematic. So we're going to create a schematic, and here's what you can name it. If you name this, the crate you get afterwards will be named this, and every item that comes out from that crate, you'll see later, you'll understand later, but every one of these items it makes is going to be named exactly this. And so we're going to show you, we're going to name my character's name, say Cargo's Chance Cube. So there we go, and I'm only going to make 2 of these. Alright, so we're going to hit Create Object. Yes, I'm done. Now remember, this Create Object is not creating the actual object. This is creating the manufacturing schematic. Alright, so we have the schematic, and if you want to look at it before you do anything with it, go into your data pad under data, and here you can see the schematic. And it will actually tell you what resources it takes, the limit, how many you actually programmed it to be able to make. You can leave it at 1,000. If you want to have it at 1,000, leave it at 1,000. Doesn't mean you have to make 1,000. You can. I'll show you that in a second. So there's my schematic. Now it doesn't do anything here. It's not an actual item. It's just in your data pad. You can sell schematics. It's kind of pointless because the people who make it have to have the exact same resources, and I mean exact same. Not just the same name. It has to be the same type of quality to do the same thing you're making. So, alright. So when you're in you got your factory here, we're going to tilde the key on it. Open up the radio menu. Always check the status, especially if you aren't sure on the stats. If you're not making very much, usually as long as it has a day on each one of them, you're fine. Again, you're going to have to put in maintenance, and you're going to have to put in power. The maintenance, just in case if you forgot, is how much extra credits you put in there to maintain its existence so that it doesn't decay. And then your power is how much power you actually have to have so that it can run the factory, because if it runs out of power, it stops working completely. So then you go to options and you say access schematic slot, and you pick your schematic. If you have more than one, they would both show in here. Say use, and it's in there. So now you go back to your tilde key, and your options have changed now. So now you can say list the ingredients needed. Sometimes I do this if I'm doing something very complex, if I forget the names, or especially if you're running a bunch of factories in here. So from there you can go through and you can start looking at which schematics. You can see you used UGAR, and here is UGAR, so you know what you have to pull from. So I'm going to go ahead and divide this up. Now this is how, if I hadn't changed this to only making 2 items, if let's say I let this at 1,000, well, instead of just sticking this whole block of resources in there and using it all up, I can actually just put in the amount of resources that would have made 2, and it would still just make 2 because it would have run out of resources, and the schematic would have still been good for another 998 chance cubes to be made out of it. But I don't really care to do that, so I'm just going to make the 2. So 2 times 2. So there's one of the resources I need. Alright, so here I have the 3 resources I need just to make the 2. And I'm going to close that out. And tilde key back on this. And I'm going to say access the station ingredient hopper. This is where you actually load in the ingredients that it needs to run it. So just drag those in from there. I don't know of another way to import the resources, so if your dragging function is not working too easily, sometimes when the game gets a bit laggy, it can be hard to drag resources into different windows. So now they're in there, and in case you haven't noticed, sometimes some people use this as a good way for storage. Sometimes you can load things into the ingredient hopper that aren't actually going to be used, just to store the items. Kind of dumb to do it that way, but if you need to, it's there. Also, to just show you, the output hopper also has 100. And just to make you as well, let's go ahead, before I go too far, I want to show you, I'm going to go ahead and start it. So you just go options, start manufacturing objects, and you're done. Now it's going to run. If you want to calculate your estimated time, the best way I've figured out to do this is go to examine, and then look at your time per object. Again, 14 is approximate seconds. It's not guaranteed exactly 14 seconds. So take the 14 seconds and multiply it by the amount of objects you're making. And you say 14 times 2, easy math, it's 28. That means 28 seconds, so this should be done in 30 seconds. If you were making a bunch of items though, let's say this was going to take 60 seconds per piece, and I said I was going to be making 1,000 of them. Well, that's 60,000 seconds. If you divide that by 60 seconds, that gives you 1,000 minutes. I know that's easy math, but then divide that by 60 minutes, that tells you this would take at least 16 hours and 2/3 of an hour. So you might as well just say 17 hours later, I can check this factory. That's the easiest way I've found to actually calculate when I can come back, because you actually have to wait that real time. As you'll notice, it went away, this one's already done, and we go on to the next part I was going to show you. Under the hopper, you get a crate, and this is the item I was talking about. The crate is named that. This is the item that the cubes are in here. A majority of things, especially like components for things, will come out in quantities with 25 of them per crate. Some few items will come out 50 per crate, and a few things, I think for like architect, where they need a lot of like wall pieces, will actually come out 100 items per crate. It's a lot, but it really helps because if you're making houses and things, you need a lot of pieces like that. Other things like droids, sometimes the droid like shells and stuff of the droid themselves, they will actually come out 5 per crate, but when they're in the crate only counts as one item storage. So you'll see while there's 2 items in the crate, down here the capacity it's only taking 1 of 100. So keep that in mind if you're making 1,000 items and it puts 25 per crate. That means you're going to have 40 crates at the end, 40 items that you need to store somewhere. If you don't need those immediately, or you don't have a place to store them, or to put them up on a vendor or something, or you don't have a backpack to put them in, whatever, I have done this in the past and it can be really beneficial. You can leave them here in the hopper, and as long as you have the maintenance in the factory, they can just stay in there. It's kind of, cheap storage. So, and you can, because it does, might do 40 crates per 1,000 if it's 25 per, you could actually do 2 full runs in here and still have room left over. So keep that in mind when you're doing your storage. You can actually leave storage of future resources, future components and crates in the output hopper, as well as loading them into the input hopper. So you could actually have 200 items stored in here if you work it properly, and it would also mean you're getting 200 storage items out of one lot, because I don't think I talked about that. When you actually lay these down, it does take a lot. I have 1 merchant tenant down, so that's 1 lot. This factory is 1 lot, so I have 2 lots out of the 10 that I've used, so there's 8 left. So we're going to take this item out. You can drag it out. You can right click and say pick up, and we're going to right click on here and say get item from crate. Right click on it, get item from the crate. You'll notice I have my item, and that's as simple as it. You get the item out. Now you still have 1 item in the crate. You may be asking, if I right click that and get it out, that gets rid of the crate. You don't get to keep it, and you have the 2 items out, and now they're taking up 2 separate pieces. And that's pretty much factories. When you're done, same with any other piece, you need to and also if you have anything left over from the schematic that you actually craft, there will be an option here saying schematic, access the schematic slot. You will need to remove that schematic before you can destroy your structure. So I'm going to destroy this, and here's a test to show you your maintenance is low, so I need to put about 2,000 more in there. Pay your maintenance. Destroy structure. It's good. Say yes. Type in your code. And you're done. And you have your deed back. And that's how you use factories. Hope that was beneficial. Hope it kind of helps you out. Hope it explains a little bit on how to use those. And keep in mind, remember, when you're really crafting things, you could actually be using 9 or 10 of these factories all at once. I have been there, I have done that, and it can really make your crafting move along smoothly, especially if you're trying to build up a good inventory to put up in your vendors. So I hope it helped you, and until next time, see you later.